Good afternoon, Lauren Hogan. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you at. Come on, come on, come on, come on, and come on. We ready for y'all right here on the show. Welcome to Laugh and Learn.
Yes,
you look pretty
indeed.
today. You got
Thank
makeup
you.
on.
I only get pretty for you. It's a pandemic, so no makeup has been a thing.
Well, no makeup, no drawers, no bras, no panties, all that.
Exactly, exactly.
We welcome you guys to Laugh and Learn today. We have a very special guest coming in later, but I want to talk to you, Lauren. How was your week?
My week was good, actually, and I ended it with you, or I began my week rather with you, because we were together for 14 hours yesterday?
Oh my God. We had a beautiful video shoot yesterday for the AHF, which is AIDS Healthcare Foundation, parody video for condoms. It was raining condoms on my head.
Literally.
I was in high heels. It was a 12-hour day. I was in high heels for 10 hours with 6-hour legs. Let me just tell y'all that a bitch is in pain right now.
I told you not to wear them shoes the whole day. It wasn't going to work out. You didn't want to listen to me.
I've never been on stage in flats. I'm a real girl.
Well, I know you said that, but still, I knew it was going to be a problem.
Well, that's not why I failed. I failed because I was so into my character.
You were committed.
Trying to remember the words.
You were committed.
And I didn't count the steps. And one step said, yeah, bitch, I'm still here. You playing? Bow, down. Tranny down. Old tranny down. Down.
And you said, where's my life alert when I need it? That was a highlight, for sure.
It was a great time. I had a great time. We got to finish it today. So immediately following this show,
we go into another set to work.
4 more hours. But look who's joining us right now. We got to bring this player in.
Yes, indeed.
Because he is a part of this Laugh and Learn trio.
He, she, we.
All 3 of y'all. 4 or 5 of y'all. 12 of y'all. Okay.
You look fabulous. Yes. This frame
do I have the right height?
Is A1. It is fabulous. I can see your shorts, though.
You got on, baby. We see your drawers, boo. Yes, God. Oh, did y'all see that?
We got it quick. Yes, now we're good. Now we're good.
Miss Rosetta, your son is on here with no pants on. I'm just telling you. I know you raised him better than that, too. I know you. I know him.
I'm trying to make sure I wasn't, because I was afraid Flame was going to be like, get up off me. So I was trying to make sure I had that right this time.
This is perfect.
Thank you, Kendall.
Yes, this is perfect.
This is a shout out to our photographer, Kendall, who is on the camera for those people at home. He and I worked through this last week. He's like, Nick, you're right up on me, right? I'm like, I'm trying to figure this out. So we've been working on it. So, yeah.
Hello, Mr. Smith. That, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Nick Smith, who is a part of this Laugh and Learn production. He's the he and the he, she, we. And here's the she, and of course, I'm the we. But we are so glad that you joined us this morning. Nick, how was your week?
My week was good until events, honestly. Last week, they kind of had me a little bit shook.
Hold on.
Like everybody else.
Hold on. So let me put on Mac, because we've seen let me tell you something. And as much as happened in this country last week, I saw the glass half full, because we won in Georgia. Let me put my blue glasses on. I don't know what was happening nowhere else, but while they was losing, we were winning. And we won both seats in Georgia. Ossoff and Warnock had salt, wig off, all that, panties off, duct tape, all that. But we won. So what was happening on your side of the world?
You know what? I feel like Georgia and the work of Stacey Abrams and all the other groups on the ground in Georgia. Let's not forget about Fair Fight and how they really just mobilize voters, because in one of the studies I read, Flame, talking specifically about the Georgia runoff election, Senate runoff election, is that as many as 90,000 new voters came out who did not participate in November. So, Flame, Lauren, when I look at that lets us know that there is still a need to get people engaged in the civic process. For some reason, people chose to not vote in November, but said, you know what, wow, it really matters now for me to vote in this runoff election.
Yeah, and I want to say shout out to Hannah and Vesper specifically, because they really also helped us understand what was going on on the ground, And Hannah specifically said there's a lot of people, Black folks that didn't want to come out and vote. So thanks, Hannah. Thanks, Vesper, for helping us understand that more and bring, some more ears to the conversation. We greatly appreciate that.
And you remember they also let us know about different ways to get people to the polls who might need a ride and things like that. All these things help to get people who might be in rural communities or have mobility issues to the polls. Whatever it took, it seemed to work, because Georgia elected both Democrats to the Senate.
More importantly, it's first Black senator. It's first Black senator, okay, in the history of this country.
And he's single, and he's a preacher. And you know those preachers be a little kinky. I'm just saying, ladies, if you up for the challenge, he got some big old hands too and a great big old nose. I'm just saying.
But
and he's single.
Flame, he did the work too, and he kept it elevated. And again, we can refer to Vesper and Hannah on this, who were just two of the people in Georgia that actually see it in real time. But we understand, I'm censoring so many things after the fact, where Loeffler purposely ran ads where he was a little bit darker than he actually is. Not saying it overtly, but you know what that's supposed to suggest, that he was a little bit darker. She ran ads where they purposely took pieces of his sermon out of context, piecing it together to purposely try to divide, that it was a super negative campaign ran by Miss Loeffler in this race against Mr. Warnock.
And I want to add to that, too. She even took it a step further to attack her team that she is a co-owner for the NBA. I'm sorry, the WNBA. Mm-hmm. And I watched that last night, and the players were so offended that they said, you know what, okay, we're going to specifically endorse Warnock. So they wore those T-shirts that said "Vote Warnock" on them, and I don't remember the exact team, but they're in Seattle. And so shout out to the WNBA too for being at the forefront of this entire movement. Really, when it came to the Black Lives Matter protests, they were always at the forefront before the NBA even came on board.
And I watched them on Good Morning America. They walked in with Team Warnock T-shirts on, right? Oh, that was gangster.
Yes,
I didn't because I was not listening, but the TV was on, so I saw them. So now when you saying that, I'm like, oh, that was gangster.
That was intentional.
Oh, those are.
Yes.
I need that team. I know I got me one stud on there. Hey, boo.
But Flame, you know what? This goes back to what you and I have talked about so many times. What do we do to get more people engaged in the process? Because clearly that's the secret.
Well, our guest today is definitely going to have some answers with us on that question, because also he was on the ground down there. Common was down there doing concerts. They were doing door-to-door knocks. They were having not telethons, but they were really getting the message out, because when you're familiar with something and it looks like you, it makes it easier for you to intake. So Common looked like a lot of them young brothers down there, and he could speak to them on their level as to where if it was me down there, they might not look at me the same because I don't look like them, even though the message is pretty much the same. So he's going to come on and tell us that, because I was telling Lauren is HBCU. Lauren graduated from Spelman. We need more Black and brown people not running to the polls to vote, but we need us to be in the positions to be voted for. We need more statesmen, more government. And they have to get these kids young. They got to get these kids in college before they get their records blemished, because little Jack can make a mistake at the age of 19, but his family is so politically connected to the laws and the government that they can expunge his record and it disappears, as to where little Tyrone gets into the exact same situation, but his record haunts him for the rest of his life where he can't run for government. We need to make those changes. That's where we got to start at, but they got to get these kids in college. They got to get these kids young.
And I think that goes to us talking about reform in general. It just can't be... It has to start at the local level, because we can't start from the top and then expect things to trickle down. We see in so many instances where that ideology just doesn't work. So to Flame's point, and to even some things that you have said as well, Nick, we need to get, police reform. We need to elect the appropriate officials so that way they can, in essence, pave the way for the younger generation to have opportunities to be in these spaces to create the much needed change that we need in America.
We've talked about that even in the areas of defund, and I know that defunds for so many people can have this negative connotation, but we've talked about this, and we have no problem when we talk about defunding education. We have no problem when we talk about defunding healthcare. And we know what those things mean, but we never get the pushback on that. And we saw what lack of defunding can do, an example on Wednesday. I called you, Flame, because I was just visibly upset. I was bothered by what I was seeing as a veteran, as a Black man, as someone who really does know no other place but this country as my home. I was offended, because that's not part of the ideals that I hold true. That is not how I want to see things resolved when you disagree with the outcome of an election. I don't know anyone who was not disappointed in my circle in 2016 when Hillary Clinton was not elected president. I don't remember anyone in my circle taking to the nation's capital to demonstrate that way. I don't remember anyone in my circle after Charlottesville doing that, after we watched our president of the United States stand back and say there were good people on both sides. When we watched them carry pitchforks screaming, "Jews will not replace us," walking with nooses, which only have one connotation, as far as I know, in my limited view of things, and I'll admit that. So when they show up at the nation's capital this past Wednesday with a noose, hang Mike Pence, you may have been screaming Mike Pence, but if you don't know what that imagery relates and says to people who look like me and who know the history of my community, I can't help but be offended and feel neglected and dejected by political officials and those who are elected who will not step in and say, this is unacceptable.
Well, I think that's the main thing. They knew what it meant. It wasn't a matter of ignorance. That was intentional. You know, that's what, when people say, oh my God, this is not America in flame, you know, you've said this too, and I completely agree with you. When people say things like this is not America, this is exactly what America is. This is how this country was built in essence. You know, we had these Europeans come over here. We had indigenous folks already here. Not only did they, you know, indigenous folks, they taught these Europeans how to cultivate, how to survive, how to be in this space. And what did you do? You raped, you murdered, and you killed them. And, you know, you guys were escaping, you know, religious, you know, persecution, but you did the same thing when you got here. And then when you realized on your own accord you couldn't maintain what you stole, you went back and got black folks from Africa to be slaves. That's how you built this country. Yeah. You know, this country was built on, you know, revolutions, insurrections. That's how this was built. So that's all that these people know to do. And now we're seeing it in a broader space, and it's on social media. And we have, you know, these platforms where we can actually visually see what's going on. They can't hide anymore. And people are like, oh my gosh, I'm outraged. This is what's been happening. This is nothing new at all.
And Lauren, just to piggyback on that, and I guess the thing that bothered me probably more than anything out of just an array of images that were disturbing, I'm watching the men and women in blue whom we're told, you know, listen, all lives matter, blue lives matter, black lives matter. Okay, I watched many of these men in blue stand back and literally pull barricades back, open doors, let these marauders, these rioters, these insurrectionists into the building. Like, well, look, Pelosi's office down that way. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're like, this was antithetical to everything that we were supposed to believe, that if the idea is that we're all one. I did not see that demonstrated last week.
Change the name, boo. Change the name. Why are they marauders and insurgents and all? No, they were thugs and gangsters and ghetto, just like they would have called us. If we gonna flip the coin, flip the goddamn coin.
Flame, the difference in this situation, the reason why they need to be called marauders and insurrectionists is because this particular act moved against, there is a term for those who do this against the state and the nation and laws, and that's insurrections, and that is a federal offense.
Well, period. Let me say, use that for the crime. But let me tell y'all something. While everybody else was watching that, like you say, you were offended and woo woo woo, I was not offended. I didn't give a fuck. Let me tell you the truth. I didn't give a fuck. Not that somebody got hurt, but if that would have been Black Lives Matter moving in like that to not even get to the stairs, they would have murdered and slaughtered everybody out there. It would have been dead bodies everywhere. It looked like when you take this vaccine, because after they take the vaccine, give it about a year, all y'all gonna be laid out. I said what the fuck I said. I said if you don't like it, I don't give a tell Dr. Fauci call me, nigga. I'm bigger than you. Come on, bring it. Anywho. And I'm telling you, I didn't celebrate it because the loss of life is the loss of life. That was somebody's mother, brother, son, uncle, what have you. But the police, for them in real time to take photographs with these people, for them to... They always say that they feel threatened by a black man walking to the car, shooting him in the back 7 times with no weapon, and y'all had on riot gear, bulletproof vests. You had guns, but I watched the police physically run up the stairs from the mob. You had a gun. You could have shot everything down, but they didn't, because if that had been us and they'd have pulled me over at a stoplight to say that I didn't make an illegal signal, they would have shot me down, and it would have been on videotape, and they would have got away with it. Oh, I'm not speaking personal about Jacob, Emma. Oh, I'm just saying, I didn't care. And I don't mean that in a negative way, because I love when people always holler, that's not what America is. That's not, we've been screaming that, and they say black people, we overly sensitive. We crybaby. It's always about black people. You all feel entitled because you were slaves. We've been telling y'all for 400 plus years that's who America was. God damn it, the whole world has seen who America was, and we ain't had shit to do with that. We was in Georgia voting, celebrating with our blue on. Look at Lauren, got on her blue, I got on my blue.
I do.
Yes, Nicholas, you missing out. You ain't got no blue, baby.
Even in that, there were those who had their lives threatened on Wednesday and still voted to question the legitimacy of the election. And this is where you just have to sit back and say, Ted Cruz, what are you thinking?
Who?
Hawley.
Who?
Flame, I'm going to throw out there one of our favorite quotes, James Baldwin. When a white man in the world says, give me liberty or give me death, the white world applauds. When a black man says the same thing, he's judged a criminal, and everything possible is done to make an example of him and this bad, so there won't be any more like him.
Say it, Lauren. Say it, because I can't say it. Say it, Lauren. Because if I said black man as a black man in drag with titties, give me liberty, give me death, or what color you want your casket?
Yeah, I just think the level of hypocrisy here overall is just something that, one, is an embarrassment for them, but it's laughable because this same group, these Trump supporters, were the same ones to say, how dare you say defund the police? That's disrespectful and Blue Lives Matter. But y'all are the same one that were beating up officers, stomping them to death on the steps of the Capitol. Yeah. And to your point, the sayings, they're not universal. They conveniently fit narratives, the give me liberty, give me death. I had a friend, I sent you guys a video. She made a statement that in the Bible it says, the first shall be last and the last shall be first. These sayings are conveniently, spoken, but they're not accurate, because as soon as these things start to happen, everybody's in an uproar. We, like you guys have said, there was 400 years of us being suppressed, and now that we are actually learning the system and using the same system that was built to oppress us, but we're using it to our advantage. Oh, people are upset, and they're going to continue to be upset, because guess what? We understand the game now. We're playing it accordingly, and you may have built it, but we're playing it better than you.
Mm-hmm. And this is exactly why I want to continue, because I know we've got Common coming up today, and I'm super excited about that, to talk to him about Georgia, because in all of this, Georgia was a success for those who are on the ground, and I don't want that lost in this process. There's a lot to be said for Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff and all that was accomplished with that. So we want to make sure that those who are on the ground get their due diligence.
Is my boy on here yet?
Yes, there he is.
Who that is. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to this show, our show, Laugh and Learn, the Emmy Award-winning, Grammy Award-winning, Oscar Award-winning, but that nigga ain't called me for no job yet. Producer, director, all that. Hi, Common.
Hey, Lauren, what's up?
Hi, how are you?
You got to speak to Nick, too, even though he's not right here. He's still on here.
Nick. I just heard Nick talking, man. Y'all have some real strong conversations.
Sorry.
It's entertaining.
Don't be trying to give us no flash.
Sorry.
Yeah, that was Dana who worked with me, trying to get y'all a little flash.
Tell her, I don't want to be looking at that. I don't want my boss to fire me. Tiffany, my boss. Don't be fucking with my change. Common, let me first start by saying thank you. I appreciate you doing this, player. And me and you we go way back for at least about a year and a half. Yes. Let me tell you what happened when I met Common through Tiff, y'all, of course. And we were just playing cards. Now, the nigga can't play no space. He from Chicago, but he can't fuck with me on no space table. Anywho, yeah, but you know what I respected about Common? Common accepted me for just how I was. This mouth, sometimes I'm in drag, sometimes I'm not. I'm still, what's up, he, she, we, whatever. And never look past whatever I was to have just a regular conversation with me. You're a good dude for that one. But you still ain't put me on the shot, but we'll talk about that after the show.
Shameless plugs. Shameless plugs.
Shameless plug. But listen, Flame, I got love for you. Your heart is what count, and we connect like we just connected automatically.
That's Chicago. That's Chi-Town.
Chicago. It's Chicago. We welcoming and even when my homies met you, I felt there was an advancement for them because we grew up on the South Side, in certain ways, and when my friends met you, they was like, Flame, cool as hell. Yo, Flame went to CBS like I did, and it just was like a breakthrough. And for some of my friends, and I felt good about that. But anyway, it was natural for me to have love for you.
Your actions towards me and that statement that you just made, somebody out there who's unsure of how they feel about somebody because they look, you just changed their man and their heart because you a real nigga. I appreciate you, Common. I do. And he gave me a birthday party for my birthday last year. The food was so good. I was introduced to jackfruit at your. I had never had that before.
I know that jackfruit, she hooked it up. We got to shout out Chef Amira. She did a great job with the jackfruit. And your whole birthday, that was fun. Like, the kids was here. My daughter was here. Tiffany, all of us, man. We celebrated you, and I felt good, man. It's like all that was going on in the year, we just was able to share love and just be able to celebrate you. So I'm happy we had that time.
Thank you, Common. And my son, whatever conversation you had with my son on the side, on the low, you changed my son's thought process. My son is going to be a great man, possibly in spite of the words, because of the words that you said. Now, because I say some of that stuff too, but I guess coming from me, it don't mean the same thing as coming.
It's different.
I ain't won no awards or nothing, you know.
And let me tell you this, my daughter don't be actually just listening to everything I say, but you know, some things she be like, yeah, whatever. But when she get in trouble, like she just had an incident with a Karen yesterday, and she was like going through it. She hit me up on, cause she know I'm a real nigga though. She know I'm a real cat, so I'm gonna give her the real. And she, you know, she was able to take that. So you know how it is as parents, they ain't gonna always listen to us. But I'm glad we got the village. That's why we got the village.
I appreciate you, but we finna go to Georgia right now. So because you been there, you was in it, Common. You was in the battlefield. We want to know what it was like because some of your stories might not have made CNN or TMZ. Some of the things that you experienced down there on the ground level, we want to know what that was like. Tell us.
Well, when I first got to Georgia, it was powerful because we went to this restaurant called Slutty Vegan, and John Ossoff and Reverend Warnock was there, and I sat down and met with them, and the owner of Slutty Vegan, a black woman, and we all had a talk, and then we went out and talked about people, and then we went and talked to the press and stuff, and I was like, man, this is America. This is what America's supposed to look like. This black woman owned this spot. We here, like John Ossoff was cool. He understand the plight of black people. He a white kid. Reverend Warnock is an old young Southern brother that got Southern traditions, and they all looking for positions in government and looking to do things in the communities. I was moved by Georgia. And then I met people who like, were so educated on what voting was, like in the hoods of Georgia. And we went eventually to Augusta. We went to their mayor was super cool. We went to Savannah, met with black business people. Georgia, man, it moved me. And I was actually in Georgia filming a movie the day that Biden and Kamala Harris won. And man, it was like, man, Georgia was celebrating, man. And it felt so good. Like, I felt like the world was changing that day. Like that night, I felt the change and the shift, and to be in Georgia at that time. And I want to shout out, I was a part of this thing, but obviously the Stacey Abrams and people like Killer Mike and T.I.'s and people on the ground, the Keisha Lance Bottoms and the people on the ground, Black Pack, they've been doing that work in Georgia for a long time. So I don't want to, kind of precede that. Like, we know they've been doing the work. I just kind of came in and did my part where I could.
Well, I think first and foremost, we should say thank you for doing your part, because you don't have to do it. It's not an obligation. It's something that you decided to do. But I more so want to know, how did Vote Georgia really come into play? Like, what was the thought? Well, what was the inception of it? Just so our viewers know.
Well, it started with this like early last year, me and my team, Tamara Brown and a couple of my team that we do social justice work. We were like, we got to do something for this election. So we created something called Urgency 2020, and it was me and Alicia Keys and Offset from Migos. We all were doing certain things in around election, but everything wasn't out there in the public. It was like some things just behind the scenes. So we eventually teamed up with this group called P68, and we went on a camp. We went campaigning not only in Georgia. We went through canvassing and meeting candidates and encouraging people to vote through Florida. We went through North Carolina. We went to South Carolina. And so that was part of it. We went to Georgia too. Now, eventually, once we won and I say we because I never subscribed to an actual political party. I've never been like, yo, I'm a Democrat. I just try to support good people.
Right.
I support people who I think are going to do right by our people and do right by the people. So, and I do my research, and my research is usually in the face, sitting there talking, and before I preface and get all the information about somebody, I like being in the presence if I can. So I did my research and I went out and supported the candidates I supported. Once I said we won, that means the people who I felt like had our vision in mind, the Joe Biden's, Kamala Harris's, and the Raphael Warnocks, and those of such, we ended up doing more. We said Georgia was still up for the Senate thing, for the Senate race. It was a Senate battle. It was a runoff. And what I didn't know back when Obama was in office, but you all probably knew, because Flame, you are very intelligent when it comes to this stuff. And Lauren, I would assume you might have known too. What I didn't know was that Obama couldn't get a lot of things done because the Senate was blocking him and because the House was blocking him. I wasn't even that educated when Obama was in office. But side note is, we got to acknowledge the fact that this guy was in office really catapulted a lot of us to educate ourselves even more politically. The fact that Donald Trump was in office.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I have to say that. But anyway, that being said, I realized that we had to have the Senate. We had to have the Senate. So the things that Joe Biden is talking about and Kamala Harris, when they say they want criminal justice reform, when they say they want to take care of student loans, when they say they want to get health care, for them to get some of those things done and us to see the system at work, you got to have the Senate and the House in place. So now they can do it, and now we can hold them accountable for real. And you will know, I just know that I wasn't just out there canvassing, campaigning, and speaking up. I will be at their desks when I can, and at all of these politicians' desks on their phones saying, hey, what are we doing? Bringing the people and the community workers to them. And what's going to happen is we're going to be able to see some real change. Y'all know it. I think more people are starting to be aware of it, and I feel inspired by it.
Yeah.
Common, let me ask you a question. So what do you think, because you were there and you resonate with the young and the old through your music and through your acting and the way you talk. I've seen you talk to young men on different platforms. You talk to them very real. That's Chicago for real. If y'all don't know about Chicago, we real people from Chicago. We talk plenty of shit, but we get the job done. But what do you think we can do to get more young people, not just to the polls, but involved in government while they're young? Because I made a point earlier about if you're from a prestigious family, white, and you're 19 years old and you get in some trouble, they can make your shit disappear. They can expunge your record. But if you're a black kid and you're in the same situation, it haunts you for the rest of your life. What can you do, or we do as a community, to get more young people before they get blemishes on their record involved in government? So not only are we at the polls voting in droves, but we're voting for us in droves.
Well, that's a great question. I think that a lot of that, Flame, is us educating our young people and having those talks. Like, let's take Offset, for example. Offset from Migos. He didn't know he could vote because he had got put in jail for a second.
Wait a minute, is that Cardi B's boyfriend?
Her husband, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, well, he didn't know he could vote because he was caught up in that WAP. Anyway, come on, let's go back. You know something about that, player. You know something about that.
Hey, I definitely can be caught up in the typicity of the typicity land. The typicity land is a beautiful place. But let me say, I was like, he was young. He is young, and was like, man, he didn't know he could vote. So, like, his mother told him. His mother is a very intelligent woman and was really telling him, like, you could vote, man, even though, in certain states, you can have a felony and vote. And when he found that out, he said, man, this is exactly what he said. He said, man, I've won awards. I've had these achievements, but he said that voting sticker on his jacket was one of the greatest things he ever felt in his life. Just having that voting sticker and having people walk out and say, man, thank you. Not thank you because you Offset from Migos, but thank you for voting. And I think more young people need to feel their power in that, and we have to educate them on their power, let them know what they can do, and break down some of the, like, yo, you got homies that's been locked up for marijuana, these are the people that can change those laws. And here are some of the people that are changing the laws. And show them the Ilhan Omar's, like the congresswomen like that, and Ayanna Presley's, and show them, the Kim Foxes and state's attorneys in Chicago who are from where we're from and are who we are and are working to do the things we need. And then let them know it ain't that difficult to run, educate yourself. And man, we need people like you. If you see something going wrong, why not step in and be the change, be the person who does it? Because, I mean, we all human beings. One thing I learned, as much as I look up to Dr. King and Malcolm X and Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman, they still, they are the greats. Muhammad Ali, these are my inspiration. But they still are human beings, and I can aspire to be great in myself. So I think we got to inspire young people to feel that.
Yeah, I want to touch on a couple of things. I would wholeheartedly agree with you on the fact that if it wasn't for Trump, this is the one thing he can get credit for. I felt safe when Barack Obama was president. You know what I mean? I wasn't watching the news like I am now, but because of all of the craziness that's happened in these 4 years, I have better educated myself. I'm learning so many new things about government, for sure. And also, too, in terms of getting more Black and brown youth involved, it takes a village. That's kind of like what you and Flame are talking about in terms of the parenting. It takes a village. You never know where that, light bulb may go off when you're talking with folks. But I have a separate question, and I kind of want to take it to the side here. You are a part of creating music for a very, I would say, I don't know, it was such an amazing film, The 13th. What was it like working with Ava DuVernay on such a special project? What was that experience like?
Well, I love Ava. Ava is one of the most intelligent and most thoughtful and just dope people that I've ever been able to work with and been around. To see this Black woman as a leader on a movie set really changed my life, because I had been on movie sets where I've been playing action and playing, and most of it were led by white men, that's just what it was. I don't think I had been on any other sets where, so my first movie with a Black woman as the head of things was Selma. And that is how I got really connected with Ava and got to work with her. I had met her before at Sundance. And, from there, it was just seeing her she had the makeup department, was a Black person. Our cinematographer, Bradford Young, Black. It was beautiful. The costume design, Ruth Carter, who just went on to win an Oscar for Black Panther. All these people were working. So I saw Ava creates a world and allows you to see possibilities and gives a lot of people opportunities. So when she was doing 13th, we had already worked together. She didn't necessarily say, man, do a song for this film. But I was like, you doing a movie on what? And it was kind of close to being done. And she's like, yeah, just keep it quiet. And I was like, oh, I called Robert Glassman, Kareem Riggins, and said, man, let's go in the studio and make a song for this. And we made it. We started making the pieces of it. And I was sent it to her. And she said, give me a call. She texted me call me. And I was like, oh, I hope this is good. And then she got me on the phone and was like, yo, I like this song. This song is it. She's like, I want you to change your second verse. So I ended up flipping my second verse and flipping it. We were going back and forth because Ava is really astute musically. Some people know, some people don't know. She used to rhyme. She used to be in a hip hop group, and was dope, a dope voice and everything. So anyway.
I didn't either.
Yeah,
and side note too, Rob's my uncle. I don't know if you remember meeting me a couple years ago. Rob's my uncle.
In Houston?
Yep. No, not in Houston. We met in LA. You guys were in the studio recording your first album for August Green.
Yo, bro, I really looked at you and was like, I know her from somewhere.
Yeah.
That's because she was sitting next to all this beauty. He was blindsided.
Small world, yeah.
Yo, but Rob, we did that, and we, man, I ain't gonna front. We did that from the heart. We was I felt like I'd been speaking on a lot of different things, but I had never addressed the prison system so specifically, the way 13th told it. I wanted our music to be a reflection of that, because you all know, we grow up, we think jail is normal. Oh, our cousin Ralph went to jail, or our homie John went to jail. So it's like normal. We didn't really think of it as a systemic thing. And definitely I did, but until I read the new Jim Crow and read, and saw, not just saw the 13th, but read new Jim Crow, that I really started thinking of it from slavery. It was a form of slavery. And it was explained to me where I could articulate, hey, this is slavery right here. This is basically another form of slavery, is the mass incarceration. So doing that song was very inspiring. As you know, we ended up, Rob and Kareem and I, we won Emmys for that song.
Yeah, y'all did.
Believe it. We was just like, wow,
that's a great segue to my question, because you got an Oscar, you got a Grammy, you got an Emmy. What are we gonna do to complete the set to get that Tony? What you working on? I want to know, because I know you want it. Don't tell me you don't, because you told me in my birthday that you want it.
Of course, I want it. I mean, I'm a person that I do art because I love art. I want to change people's lives. I want to inspire people. But I do appreciate the awards that come with that when it does, because it's like you being celebrated for your art, and it's touched enough people that they like, look, we gonna award you, we gonna give you this award. So my plight is to do theater, like, for sure. It's one of the things that I was actually planning on doing for last year, doing a theater piece I was acting in. But I also want to get to writing theater. But I'm gonna do it with the passion and love that I do all my art. And God willing, the Tony will come. I'm for it.
What kind of character you want to play on that? You want serious? You want comedy? What you want? Because your singing voice is only okay. You like a B-list rapper, so you're singing, but you're singing. That's my boy, y'all. I'm just playing.
First of all, I never claimed to be a singer.
I'm messing with you.
Let's clarify that.
That's that West Side in me.
Hey, listen. I want to do drama. The play that I was set to do was a drama that was really dope. And then, I actually wrote a piece that I did for Audible that y'all got to check out. It's called Bluebird Memories. It's like a play mixed with the music. It's a play. And we did it exactly a year ago. We did it at a theater in New York called the Minetta Lane Theater. And it's on Audible for audio style, but it was a step into me creating my own play. But I'm going to do theater. I wanted to do theater before any award. I wanted to do theater. I'm an actor. I love it.
Oh, you're going to get it. I don't even know how long it'll be before Broadway comes back with all the...
Yeah, right now they're shut down until June, but who knows what's going to happen.
Common, let me ask you a question. Well, let me ask you a question. It ain't personal. Shit, we on here talking to all the folks. So they got the vaccine out. I'm completely against it. Babe, let me tell you, I got enough foreign shit going on in my body. I ain't finna put nothing extra in there unless a potato chip with Doritos, some chicken or something. Are you planning on getting the vaccine? Why or why not?
No, I don't plan on getting the vaccine. I've been at a certain point in my life, I started like focusing on health and wellness. And that doesn't mean you immune from any disease, but I've been working to build myself and my immune system up, and just take care of myself. And I just don't believe that, I'm not into like taking a bunch of, drugs and pharmaceutical drugs and vaccines and stuff like that. I think the body has so much power in itself that it can heal itself in different ways if we eat the right foods and have the right natural things. I mean, our ancestors was doing it. I believe we can do it. We have more things about it because we got foods that's being injected with all type of stuff, and we got electricity going all around me, technology all around us. So some things mess with our bodies, but I still know, you got to understand, I've been around Dr. Sebi, who, has healed people with cancer and healed people with lupus. I've been with doctors and had friends who were dealing with lupus, and their doctor said you need to eat raw, and they were healed of lupus. So I really seen the power in foods as medicine, and seen the power in eating naturally, and taking natural things. So I'm gonna go on that route for a while, and that's just where I am with it. I don't knock anybody for what they need to do for their body, but I'm telling my family and my loved ones to not take a vaccine to take care of themselves.
Well, that's kind of segues because actually Flame brought up something regarding ED or erectile dysfunction. And it's like we see more and more now that there's more, debilitating diseases that are affecting people at, a younger age more and more. So what do you think is really happening that, we even talked about last week, Chadwick Boseman just recently, passed away from, colon cancer. It's just at 43 years old, we're just seeing more and more issues at younger age in folks, especially folks of color. Like, what do you think is happening?
Wait a
Why
minute,
is this happening?
Wait a minute before you answer that question. Cause how old is these something that's having ED in their 20s?
Yeah.
Now let me tell you,
between 20 and 39.
Let me give y'all the he, she, we question, the answer to that. Cause the girl in me was like, nigga, what's wrong with you? But the player in me was like, when I was in my 20s, keeping that motherfucker up wasn't the problem. Keeping it down was the issue. I was getting hard in church, goddamn. I'm telling you right now. Oh, I ain't the only one. Baby, don't let these titties fool you. I'm not understanding how you can't get erect in your 20s. Baby, those are the golden years. Let me take this wig off and get with y'all ass for real. Okay, all right, Common. Now you got
Hey, I'm with you. The 20s, boy.
Woo! Nigga, take me back. Take me back. Shit.
Boy, it's hard to just try to get yourself focused when you're in your 20s.
Right.
But that being said, though, Lauren, I'll say I think it has been the foods that's been some of the things that we're dealing with that's affecting our bodies. Why you see younger people, attracting diseases and dealing with what you just said, erectile dysfunction and some of the things that we heard. We didn't see young people getting those things. Like we didn't hear about our families. And as our families would say, man, I ate pork and I ate all this, but they were eating it and it wasn't treated the way it's treated. It wasn't shot with as much BS that they shooting into it now. So that is one of the key things. I also think mental health and wellness is important. I think that can affect because I know when my mind is like going through a lot, I ain't got as much sexual drive, just point blank, so like I think even mental health and wellness is a part of getting what you talk specifically when it comes to that. But I think in general, we gotta keep, because one of the things that I did understand too, and my mother used to say this to me, but I believe it even more now, is, man, stress causes diseases too. Stress causes like your body to weaken up and it just breaks things down in different ways, breaks your body down. So stress is one of the greatest causes of it. So I think the combination of us being aware and making healthier choices, and also, having like mental health support will better. You'll see more 20-year-olds rolling around hard. They'll be ready to get it.
Yeah. Y'all stay away from me. I'm trying to be good. Wait a minute, comment. So you're American. You here. We in Georgia celebrating, but they in D.C. doing something else. I know you saw it. I'm as a comedian, I'm not talking shit. It was a very sad part of the world to me. But what you feel about, and you just give us the sugar-coated answer. We don't know who watched.
Nah, I'm gonna give you the raw. I'm gonna give you the raw. I'm gonna give you the Chicago. I'm gonna give you the Chicago.
I like it, satire.
I ain't gonna front. I really didn't care about it. I ain't even care what they were doing. Like that. Like I was sitting there like thinking, man, do y'all understand what we just accomplished in this country? I was like, man, they distracting this real celebration that's happening. Like this real like change. Like a black woman is the deciding factor on laws and bills being passed federally. Like Kamala Harris will decide if it's a tie between like the votes. Kamala Harris makes the decision of black woman vice president. Y'all understand where we are in history? And to be able to celebrate that was where my energy was. And I always believe, I don't know how the Bible verse exactly says it, but if you start arguing with a fool, it's hard for people to determine who the fool is at a certain point. Yeah. And I kind of was like taking in all the energy of like hearing Tamika Mallory talk about that ain't our fight, hearing people saying, man, that, my instinct was like, this ain't us. Let them be who they are. Let them they got to show who they are. That's who they are. And the world does need to see it. Unfortunately, I heard you say, Flame, and I agree, I never want to see anybody lose their life or, be damaged. That's not where my heart is. So I'm never like happy about that, or don't say I don't care. I do care that people lost their life and lost their lives, but I don't care about all the commotion going on and all the hype here. Man, this is even for us to be like, man, if this happened to us, we know that. Flame, you know that. We know that. We already know that. We passed that. We know if a lot of shit happened to us, it's gonna be different. We already know that. So where are we now? Right now, we got people in office that we got to hold accountable to say that if this does happen to us, what is going to be changed? And that's where my mind is focused, eyes on the prize. So I let the fools be fools.
Well, let's quickly shout out HBCUs too, because we got a Howard alum who's officially a vice president of the country on January 20th. We have a Morehouse man who was the first black senator in our country, and all at the same time, a Spelman alum helped get them all elected. So shout out to HBCUs and what we're affording black folks in this country.
Comment, and sure. I know you love women, period, all across the flavor, yes. But let me ask you, as a black man in this country right now, how proud of you are the black women's accomplishment? Because, I love women, period. I'm not one of them. I love, baby, I'm real nasty. I like,
Yeah.
But as a black man in this country right now, how proud are you of our sisters for just being bosses?
Man, I love it. I mean, as you said, from your boss, Tiffany, to Michelle Obama, our homegirl, to Kamala Harris, to so many other incredible, from the Beyoncés to just on.
Don't be putting all them skinny bitches up there. What about Stacey Abrams? Yeah, baby, she a sex symbol.
Stacey Abrams. Hey,
I'm gonna get your ass.
Tiffany just worked. She worked out to get more skinny or whatever. I don't know. She could work it out.
Tiffany over there looking good, boo. Let me tell you something. She be talking something. She be up at 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning running, talking some Flame. You should go jog on me. I told her, bitch, have you lost your mind?
Exercise is good for you.
I got some exercise, honey, John.
Not that kind.
Oh.
But I'm so like Stacey Abrams is somebody that has changed the world. Like, she is a figure that has changed the world, literally. And she ain't doing it for no hype. She showed, I just thought about her strength today. To lose in the race the way she did for governor for Georgia, and to take that loss and turn it into something that changes the world, to engage voters, to get more people educated, to be able to do that just shows you the strength of a black woman and a woman. And I'm celebrating where our black women are, because at the same token too, it's like the black women have had it the most difficult challenges in this country, probably maybe in the world, because being a woman has already been challenged, but then being a black person is a challenge. Because and not naturally, but just the way the world treats us. So to see the victory and to see a woman from Howard, to see the way Michelle Obama is one of the most loved people, to see Stacey Abrams make the changes she made. And, even let's give it, the Oprahs, and they continue to do stuff. And it's young black women that, that's doing things also.
And you see the black man and the black woman handle that same situation very differently, because Stacey Abrams lost the government and took over the state. Andrew Gilliam lost Florida and went to the hotel with them boys. Yes. Hey, Andrew. No, I still like his politics coming. I'm talking shit, but I still like his politics. I hate that he had to live in shame because the world won't allow people to be who they are openly without being judged. So he had to sneak around. But I was making a point to say that the black man went one way and the black woman went another way. But I go both ways. I'm just saying, though.
Hey, let me say, Andrew Gilliam I went to Florida A&M. He's a FAMU graduate. I always got respect for him. I love what he was striving and working to do down there in Florida. His personal choices, I have nothing to do with that. I just support him as what he was doing politically. And I still got love and respect for him. So that's what it is. But he did what he needed to do.
He got caught with his pants down. Pull your pants up, player. Pull your pants up. See, that's what you guys get for walking around here sagging. Y'all need to stop all that sagging shit. Y'all know where that sagging stuff supposedly came from. I'm just saying what I heard on the streets. Pull your goddamn pants up.
But I do want to kind of switch back to the music, though, because you talked earlier about arts. And I think in a lot of ways, arts education is just not something that's being afforded in like schools anymore. It's kind of, it's not as important. And with this pandemic hitting, we really saw in a lot of ways music was at the forefront of keeping people's spirits up and just keeping them happy about life. Has your appreciation or perspective, rather, on music changed at all since the pandemic hit and just seeing all of the positivity it's really brought into the world?
Lauren, my appreciation and gratitude for music has strongly I've been reminded, I've been rebirthed in it in a way. And that's such a great question because I didn't know I would, because we were, during this pandemic, because we were all at home and I was doing my workouts and stuff, I found myself listening to only the music I really wanted to listen to. So I was putting on 90s hip hop and 90s soul music, R&B, 90s R&B, 70s soul, jazz music. But I really found myself like people enjoying and sharing music and I started sitting with music more in my home, which I don't do a lot because I make music and I'm always around music. So, but I was like, man, this music has really touched me. Oh, and I forgot one other, gospel. I love gospel music too. So in that, I love gospel music and I was playing that and it just was really inspiring my day and giving me a peace. The word peace beyond understanding is what I got through the music a lot and really feeling connected. And, you saw people, whether it was D-Nice DJing or the verses, where I would see people online and I see people, musicians that I love, making comments. I'd be like, oh, this, and it was just the music that was uniting us. So, and I realized too that as much as I love acting a lot. Like I love acting a whole lot. Like just, I would say with as much passion as I have for music, but you can't just go make a film by yourself. You still need somebody to hold the camera, Music, if you could play guitar, you could play piano, or even if you could just sing you could still do it. I can rhyme and I don't need anything. And it's just like music is such a true gift from God. And I definitely gained a great value for it.
What y'all need to know is Common is a very spiritual man. He be burning his little whatever stuff when we be playing cards, because he was like Paul the White, calling on those African angels. Ain't none of them bitches showed up. Understand? I don't play no games with Common on no spades table when he be burning.
That's my Palo Santo.
Baby, he burns all his herbs, spices, celery, bell pepper, all that. Don't none of that shit work when we playing cards, because I be tagging, baby, that be that west side on that south side ass, baby.
You really act like you're a great spades player. You really.
The only reason you ever won the one game that you won is because of Jill. Let's be honest, player. If we gonna talk about it, nigga, we gonna talk about it. Come on, that's just that is your strategy.
The reason I won. Flame said the reason I won is because of you.
Tell the truth. Tell it, Jill.
Definitely because of me.
Thank you. Hi, my Jill.
Oh, you're so beautiful.
Not as gorgeous as you. I'm trying to look like you, girl. Look all young and stuff.
I know. Her birthday is on Friday.
Happy early birthday.
At Capricorn. Oh, girl, you always got some money because y'all cheap as shit. Hey, baby, happy birthday. Common, what's your zodiac sign?
Huh? What you say?
What's your zodiac sign?
I'm a Pisces.
Uh-oh.
February.
March 13th.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, nigga, you good and crazy.
My
too.
mom's a Pisces, so I can say that. It's okay. Y'all are special people.
We are good and crazy, though.
Good. I know what I said. Good and crazy.
We good people. We good-hearted people, but we crazy because we want. One day I want to do this. The next day I want to do this.
Well, that's your sign. Y'all got the fish.
I feel like that in the same hour.
Their fish goes opposite directions, exactly. So that makes sense.
That's what it is. Two fish.
Common, I want to know because is your daughter ever going to get into acting or modeling? Because she was very lovely. She had big old lashes on at the party. I saw her say, "Girl, when you doing a drag show, take them big ass bat wings off your face." But she was so pretty. I think it was just her birthday around the same time as mine, right?
Her birthday was August.
Yeah, it was
August
coming
13th.
up.
Yeah. So she's a lawyer. She's going to law school. So I mean, she said something about acting just to me the other day, but I don't think she really would want to act. I told her she should take acting class, being a lawyer, because acting class is something that, to me, even if you don't want to be an actor, it gives you confidence to be in front of people and try different things. And to be a lawyer, you got to be able to communicate and talk and have that confidence, and that's half the battle.
Well, thank you for sending her to law school. We need more lawyers that look like us to represent us when we get in trouble, even when we didn't do shit. Because I tell you, when the police pull me up, I'm putting my wig on because it's safer for me to be a tranny than a black man, and that's the real talk, baby. I'm gonna let you feel these titties. If it's gonna scare the shit out you and you gonna run away from me, whatever it takes, baby. Ain't that what Malcolm X said? By any means necessary. The messed up part about that was Donald Trump took those words and took it to heart because this nigga is trying to cheat and win and get back in here by any means necessary. We love to say the words as black folks, but we got to walk it. We got to walk it. Georgia walked it last week. We have really showed up this year. And Common, we had a conversation about. We had a comment today. We having a common-sation.
COMMON-sation.
We having a common-sation. Don't be stealing my shit. I want to hear that in your next rap. I want my check.
Hey, that's I came up with that.
Oh, no. Tiffany, girl, call me. No, what was I saying? I was telling. We were having a conversation a couple of weeks ago, comment about. They were saying they were equating racism with mental illness. Yeah, that's their new thing on the other side. Because on our side, when John was crazy, we sent that nigga down south he went down south with the rest of the family. But so 74 million or 75 million people that voted for Trump, because there are good Republicans. Understand that there are good Republicans, but voting for Trump this go round and being a Republican were two different things. They want to equate that there was 74 mental ill people in this country that voted for Trump, because mental illness and racism ain't the same thing. Racism is a learned behavior, to me.
Racism definitely is a learned behavior, but it may take some mental help to get you out of that learned behavior and some work on self.
Or to know Pookie and them on the south side. I know them niggas' number. I know Pookie and them.
Yeah, exactly,
they erase the serial number off and everything.
It's either gonna be a good ass whipping, and even that ain't gonna eventually. Because even one thing I was thinking about when somebody brought up the people who went to the Capitol, I was like, what did they accomplish really? What did they accomplish? What did they leave with? When you go do something, if you're in a movement, you want to leave with something that feels like it's changing.
They left with pictures with the police, and they left with some paperwork out of the Senate
and Nancy Pelosi's stand that they're selling on eBay.
It's ridiculous shit.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, racism is a sickness that has existed for a long time, and it has to deal with a fear of another person, taking your position. Their greatness, you not having enough love for yourself to be able to see somebody else shine. And I mean, I think throughout history, because we as original people, as original man and woman, have been shining and having these natural things that just are beautiful. Some people just haven't been able to deal with that. And we not the type of people to be like, yo, get out of here. Black people ain't go just ostracize you just because you not on, a certain level. But for whatever reason, their fears and some of the things that have developed in their nature, they go try to conquer every place that they are on this planet. And I'm talking, and that racism has been passed on. That mentality has been passed on to a lot of people. And the reason why I say it's going to take some type of mental wellness to help is because how do you heal disease? How do you heal mental issues? Issues. It ain't even just let's say regardless of mental. Let's say it's an emotional issue. How do you heal that? That's the question for both of y'all. What would you say?
Flame.
You don't want. I've had to heal emotion. Common, I've been through a little bit of everything, baby. I've been to prison. I've been a prostitute. I have survived. Baby, a man trying to kill me. 2 white boys threw me out of a car. My mental illness to me was I never not saw what I wanted. I've always saw what I wanted, and I knew I looked differently, and people tried to change me. If I wanted to be famous just for being famous, they offered me reality shows 9-10 years ago when they found that I was a transgender person who had children. I did never want to sell my kids out. You've been with me in the company of me and my son. Whatever I lose in this life, I will never lose my son's respect for me as his father. Because no matter what y'all think or what y'all see, my son respects me as his dad. And I asked that nigga for his birthday on Sunday the 9th or Saturday, what you want for your birthday? You know what he told me? I got the greatest dad in the world. I don't need nothing. I was shook. Don't no nigga shake me. That nigga had me shook.
I mean, but that's the truth, and he spoke his truth. And I mean, I seen the reflection of it in your kids, not only your son, but just both girls, everybody. They was just like, you're a great parent, and that just go to show you, man, how respect and love, and that's to answer your question. That's some of them things that wasn't passed down in some of them communities. And now it got to be checked. Sometimes the check is going to be, you're going to have to deal with the rod. And sometimes it's going to be a little, we're going to work through it emotionally. But whatever way, it's got to happen. Sometimes, unfortunately, for some of this change that happened, we lost some of our brothers and sisters' lives. It's just what it is. So some of that racism going to have to be beat down. Do physical things that, it's going to take some dramatic things like that, but it's going to be years and years of healing that got to take place. And, I believe we have to set the examples, and not in a way that's like, we're going to just forgive and forget all the things, but yeah, we can live in forgiveness, but we also live in teaching, and forgiveness also does have accountability, and it does have, it holds people responsible, and you put people in check. So I feel like we got to be the examples of what we want to see, too.
That's a good setup for me, because I want to ask you, as an artist, what do you feel like it is the responsibility level of an artist? And Vesper asked me to ask you this question. I thought this was a great question. Myself included, whatever form of entertainment you are, if you're an influencer, what do you feel it's the responsibility of the artist to speak about the social climate or the political times that's happening in their lifetime in real time?
Well, artists are human beings, and if you care for your family, you care for your community, you care for your people, you care, then you should use your microphone for something that is going to uplift and show that you care. All of it don't have to be consciousness. All of it doesn't have, but you got to say something, and do something when you've been given the opportunity to have a microphone. The opportunity to have a gift, a talent that you can use. Like I said, no one is asking any artist to be like, yo, every song need to be about the community and need to be about love and respect for one another. But man, what can you do? Like, look at yourself and say, what can I do that will benefit more than me? Benefit people that are in my community, people that I know are hurting and dealing with different things. What can I do? And if you just do that, then that's enough for me as an artist. And it don't even have to be done all where everybody has to see it. But sometimes it needs to be seen just so other people can know that it's being done and you can inspire others. Like some of the things we were doing on the campaign when we went out, I don't promote everything I do, but this time I was like, I need people to vote. I need people to know this voting is important. So I'm putting that thing up. We putting it up. And that's one of the reasons I did that. So my thing is just do something that you know is benefiting something more than just yourself, and use that microphone wisely. Like Nina Simone said, an artist just should reflect the times. It's the duty of an artist. That's our duty. I feel it's our duty as artists and as human beings.
I think we got too many cowardly artists. Let me say what I said. Hold on, because y'all know y'all gonna come after me, but I fight back. And I coming back. Be ready. Be scared of this clapback because it's dangerous. There were so many people who were not politically savvy or who did not come out long before when we had 23 candidates running for president. Let's just go back to that. And then they came out with all this hold the vote, your vote don't matter for the black agenda. Every time I ask somebody black, what is the black agenda? Has it changed in 400 years? Because, Common, I thought the irresponsibility of some of these people who had shine and power and a microphone, like you said, use it wisely, telling black people to hold their vote in the state of the world that we were in and are in was the most ridiculous, irresponsible shit I ever heard. And if I never worked for you, it's okay. I'm cute anyway. I'm still working.
No. I mean, I think the timing of it was really tough to me. Like, I was like, the timing of this is not good, because if we do have those things, we need to go at a time where it ain't about voting right now. Like, if you saying like, man, this is the black agenda too, it can't be just we go to them with that when it's time to vote. And that's one of the things that I've been like really want to be keen on for us now. It's like, okay, we showed up. You just said it. We showed up. Black people showed up during this election more than we had before, and we were the people that changed it. We were the people that changed it, point blank, and like we were the deciding factor. Now, how in between that can we continue to educate ourselves and keep people engaged so that they can locally know who's running, who's good for them, and know like on the state side, and know eventually continue to go through the federal, so we can stay engaged. And this is not just a time where things is going crazy that we go to these elected officials or candidates and ask for things. We need to be doing this all throughout the process, and not just asking, demanding, commanding things. So I do believe, I respect, I got respect for Cube. I got respect for Wayne too. So I respect that they can speak their minds and say what they need to say. I just knew that for me, that meant that we had to go even harder to get people out to vote.
Look, I ain't say no names, but since you mentioned Doughboy and the nigga that drink cough syrup to get high, nigga, stay away from that NyQuil. You need some Dayquil to wake your ass up. God damn it, look, he gonna get woke up unless he get this pardon from y'all president, because they say that he did talking about pardon Lil Wayne on those gun charges that he's facing 10 years on. Yeah. I'm just saying this nigga done committed all kind of crimes and y'all let him pardon. I want to ask one more question, Common. I want to know this question about, do you think that they should impeach him, or do you think that they should just invoke the 25th Amendment, which would strip this fool of his rights? I'm with that one. But what do you think?
Should they impeach him or strip him of his rights? Yeah, the 25th sound good. The 25th Amendment sound good. I would, to be honest, I kind of like, man, let's just get rid. This is done. Like, impeachment is like, we only down to like 9 more days before the inauguration, right?
Yeah, I mean, and just to interject really quick, my opinion is I don't think we should impeach him, because what I foresee happening is Mike Pence taking over for, even if it's 5 days, he's going to give him a pardon. That's what's going to happen.
And let me tell you something, Common, because I'm an old conspiracy theorist bitch. Conspiracy theory, that word. I believe that the way they have put out that Mike Pence and Trump is into it, I think that's the overplay for the underplay. That's a Chicago term. That's the overplay for the underplay, because I think publicly they want us to look like they're feuding and battling, but the plan is for Pence to become president and then pardon Donald Trump. It's all a scam to me. I'm saying I'm a fake bitch, so I can say it because I see fake shit. I got fake, all that. But I'm telling y'all, I think it's a ploy, and we keep taking the attention off what's really happening on that side, because they keep trying to show us something on this side. So if you throw everything to the left, naturally everybody gonna look to the left. Some of us gotta look to the right because they on some bullshit. I'm just telling y'all, pay attention. Common, you think you'll ever get involved in politics later in life?
I sometimes always said no, and I don't think I will, because I really love like being an artist. And and I love acting. I love like creating, but I feel like I could do for people without having to be actually a politician. But who knows, man? As we just said, like as we encourage other people to step up and young people to step into their position and actually be the senators and be the district attorneys, I mean, I may. It might be a position in politics that would serve me, where I can serve the people better. I'm all about being able to serve the people and being my purpose. So if my purpose leads me to politics, I will do it. But right now, I'm just doing what I can do to support those who I believe in that are in politics.
And we appreciate all that you're doing too. We just want to engage some of the flamettes because they are sending questions in. Nick has been texting me.
I vote for you. I vote for you. And both my names. Because I got two IDs, him and her. He, she, we vote for. Wait a minute. I'll tell you how I vote for you more. Tell Lena wait. I say, hey, dude. Hey, Lena. That's
Lena,
my type.
what up?
Lena, my type. But I don't know why I'm not the candy lady on the Shad. Let me just talk about, because you produced the Shad. I used to run the city of Chicago, is what you don't know, player. I ran that city.
Hey, Lena, what up? You know I love you, Lena.
Lena, I need to be the candy. I need to run guns, sell hoes, sell candy, cook chitlin plates, all that. Baby, it's always a candy lady in the city of Chicago. And the candy lady had always kept a young man, kept a pistol, and kept plenty of money in her pocket. Now I ain't got no young man, but I got plenty of money and I got a pistol.
So really quickly, we want to get some people, they're asking us questions for you. So specifically, the number one question is, what are your beard tips? What's going on with the beard? People want to know. Just let them know. What do you do to keep it so well groomed and so amazing looking?
Well, listen, to be honest, I'm not the barber. My tips is to get a great barber who really knows what they're doing. And I like my beard. Like, I really love during this time of like when we were down, I just was letting it go, and I remembered how much I like it to be raw, like woofing, like Gil Scott-Heron or somebody, or Marvin Gaye. Like, so my tips is to keep it, eat healthy, so that's gonna give your beard the sheen you want. But always have a good barber or whoever do your hair around, because I get my beard done. Like, if I got stuff to do, I get it done every like 3-4 days. Yeah, because
if Tiffany wasn't my boss, nigga, I had about 4 jokes up in what you just said. But I love you, Tim. I ain't saying shit. I want my job. I like my job. What y'all don't know is Common has the most beautiful bald head I ever seen. That nigga ain't got no blemishes in it. It's the same color. Ain't no nicks and cuts or nothing. Common got the best bald head ever. And it's the same. It ain't like, how some people had a light around and it's the same color. The whole head is the same color. But that nigga real light. That nigga look like a lemon head in person. That nigga real like a light bulb.
What other thing people are asking is, you talked about music earlier and your appreciation for it now throughout the pandemic. So who are your who's your favorite, I would say, jazz artist and hip hop artist?
My favorite jazz artist is John Coltrane. My favorite hip hop artist would probably be the group Tribe Called Quest, the group themselves. Yeah, I'm in the 90s with the hip hop a lot. I mean, I listen to some of the new artists and appreciate and respect what they're doing. But me growing up, I was listening to Tribe and to Gang Starr and the Black Moon, which, some of them were my peers. Nas is one of my favorites. So, yeah.
And go ahead. Go ahead.
Come, let me ask you this. With all this downtime and all these kids going to the internet, because you really are seeing a lot of talent, because Lauren talked about that earlier. Do you get the inboxes that these people send you of their beats and their rapping and woo-woo-woo? And do you actually go through them yourself? Because I know a lot of people have other people go through their social media. Because I know a lot of these young kids want to know, do you actually see them?
Well, I created this platform. It's called Stardust Kids. And what we do is it's a collective of different artists, from musicians to directors to like visual artists. You can sing, rap, whatever. And like, honestly, it's my team between On and Nicole are like just younger people who like check out all the stuff, and then they tell me what's good, and we put it on the platform and just give people a chance to connect with other artists, and also try to be a bridge to be able to get artists signed. So Stardust Kids is what I created to be that. Because I honestly wouldn't listen to every DM that somebody, wouldn't listen to everything that someone sends me. Because I'll be sometimes working on my own stuff / just getting my own peace of mind. So I made sure that I got a team that does check it out, and I hear the stuff that makes it to the next level.
A built-in Star Search. A built-in American Idol. I'm sorry, Lauren, go back.
No. I just the one thing I do want to know too is what message do you think is one that would be inspiring to the youth now? Like, what would you say to the youth that are coming up, in these, we can call them tumultuous times for all intents and purposes. What's a message of inspiration you would give to them right now?
I think it's been no greater time than this time for you to really know what you care about and know what you value and know to discover what your purpose is, because the world did stop and everything wasn't moving. You didn't have to do so much. So you actually have an opportunity to listen to yourself and figure out, like, what is important to me in this world and what can I contribute in this world? Like, a lot of the things that seemed important pre-pandemic, a lot of that got removed. So now it's up to you to say, what's important to me? Like, is it followers? Is it, how much does that really mean to your life for real? Like, unless you translating that into something that becomes business or becomes powerful, how are you for me, it's been, if I don't do something with an Oscar, if I don't change somebody's life or use that platform, that access to do greater things, then what did I really get it for? Mm-hmm. So my thing is what I say to younger people is to find what you purpose for, and when you do it, pursue that with all your heart and soul, and use it to better other people when you can. Like, just use it to better other people. Flame does it through comedy. Flame is and we learning, but we also laughing. So, Flame found where, this is where I'm going to do it. This is one of the ways. And I think it's important you find a way to do something you love and contribute to the world.
I love that. Yeah.
Common, you the man. Are you going to marry? Let me ask are you going to marry Tiffany Haddish? Look at me all in the business.
That would be a beautiful thing. I would say that would be amazing.
Better question. Am I going to get invited to the wedding?
Well, of course you would. If we
don't start
got to a wedding level, we would have to. It's a must.
I might be.
She might show up with a gun if you don't.
Baby, I come there gunning like Medea. I shake that bitch up.
She'll come on some real West Side shit.
Exactly.
Oh, Common, what high school did you go to in Chicago?
I went to Luther South. It was over on 87th and Kedzie. Unfortunately, it closed down. But shout out to all my Luther South people. I know you went to the V. I stayed right by CVS. I stayed about 5 blocks from CVS.
You're a little older than me, though, so you had graduated long before I came out.
Let Flame tell it.
You started off with lies about the space. Now you coming with other lies.
Ooh, that nigga was calling on the whole arm of God. They didn't show up. They wasn't fucking with this devil. I tell people all the time, the only reason I ain't dead, because God don't want me up there, because I talk too much shit. He be like, dude, you got to explain them titties first. Get that story together before I even bring you this way, because God ain't ready for me.
Common, one other thing, can you tell us about your website and where people can go and visit you to get some more information about all of the activism and things that you're doing?
Yeah, well, for sure. I'm here on IG at Common. My website is thinkcommon.com. We actually have a lot of new gear, new clothes and stuff this dope, this Common Well line that we've been doing. I should have had on a sweatshirt now, but it's from this workout series and this health and wellness series I did called Common Well. We have some of the gear for that. But yeah, you can check me out at Common on all platforms.
Common, I appreciate you. I thank you for doing this for me, because I know you're a busy man and you found other things to do. Plus, I had to push Tiffany, and she didn't even have to twist your arm. You agreed to it right off. I appreciate you. You are the man, Common. I'm telling you something. As a friend, I appreciate you. As a man, I respect you. As a trainee, I respect you for respecting me. And as a professional, nigga, bring it. We should have a comedy rap concert. I can open for you, baby. I have on fire. He, she, we.
Yo.
He, she, we. I've been asking you to write me a rap called He, she, we. You on that bullshit. See, you on that bullshit.
He, she, we. I got love for he, she, we. And Lord, it's good to see you. I'm going to tell Rob I build with you on
Yeah, I'm
on
gonna
IG
call
or
him.
something.
I'm gonna call him a
Yeah.
little later and tell him we talked today for sure. It's
Yeah.
good to see you too.
Hey, thank you, Common. Thank you for what you're doing and life changing, the things that you're doing, changing people's lives, because some of these young brothers and sisters are seeing you and watching you. Tell that Killer Mike I want to pick his brain, because that nigga brilliant to me. Good God,
Yeah,
that nigga is brilliant to me.
Yo, he's a real dude, real one, an intelligent one, so powerful one. So respect to Killer Mike.
You will,
And respect to Nick too.
you will
Yeah.
open up a door for other men that are straight and heterosexual that just in the world to allow them to speak to me or somebody that looks like me now just because you did this. So hats off to you. I would say half, but nigga, you ain't got no hair. Hats off to you, pimpin'.
It looks good though.
Thank you, She. I appreciate you. Love you, dude.
Love you.
Thank
y'all.
you.
Love.
Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Oscar Award winning, Grammy Award winning, Tony Award. Well, he ain't won the Tony yet.
Speak it into existence.
Bring it. Thank you guys for joining. Lauren, I think you should run for politics. I'd vote for you.
You know what? I feel like what Barack said about Michelle, I think my mouth might be a little too reckless for that.
Well, actually, after what Trump has done, I think, is anything off limits now?
Well, there's a double standard. You got to remember the double standard. So
Well, after last Wednesday, I think that might be good. Slowly moving out the way. I think they were more embarrassed than anything else. 'Cause, they don't act like that. They don't do that. We don't act like that.
yeah, that's true. But anyway,
The
I
cookie
think this
is
was
out
an
the cookie
amazing
jar.
conversation.
Anytime you're involved in the conversation, Lauren Hope, she
thank
got to
you
check
so
for me,
much.
y'all. Anytime you're involved,
Say all the right things.
It was great. Comment. You was dope for doing that. You
Yeah.
guys can follow
Yeah.
Lauren Hogan where?
At Lauren Armani H on Instagram, and due to my instructions from this beautiful individual right here, I'm also on YouTube now at Lauren Hogan. You can subscribe and see amazing episodes of Laugh and Learn.
And you can follow Nick Smith at Nick Smith News, one word, on all social media platforms, including YouTube. You can also follow me on YouTube, which is Flame Monroe. You can follow me on Instagram as Monroe Flame. I do a love lounge. I do in the evenings at 6:30 West Coast time when I'm feeling it. We have a great time. We play music. We break stories. It's only for it's the escape hour. Don't come with politics.
grown folks.
It's only for grown people, and I'm not talking about grown in age. I'm talking about grown in mentality, because some of you
Yes.
motherfuckers 70 acting like you're 12. Oh, we're not talking about Trump no more, though, are we?
No,
Oh, okay.
no. We
I
moved
just had
on.
to get that in. Thank you guys so much. To my executive producer, Tiffany Haddish, you made the magic happen. We appreciate
Yes,
you over
thank
here
you.
at Laugh and Learn. To our fabulous cameraman, Kendall, thank you so much. To our producer, Tribble, we appreciate you. To all the Flamettes, this show could not be possible without you. We thank you. I thank you, Nick Smith, my partner. I thank my new baby right here, Lauren Hogan. We got another job to do.
Yeah, we do. We got to go to set in about an hour or so.
Thank you guys for watching and subscribing. Please like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. We will see you all next week. We got Ellen coming real soon. Y'all better we got
Okay.
Joe Coy coming. We got D.O. Hughley coming.
got a lineup.
Oh, yeah. Come on with it. This is Laugh and Learn. Thank you. Remember, can't no bitch do what you do, because we are not trying to get you to change your mind.
We are trying to get you to use your mind.
And there you go. Peace.